Hey guys, wanted to make a video going over the Devnotes. There's a couple of interesting announcements in the game, so I wanted to kind of go over them because I know that not everybody is going to read the notes, or maybe people are looking for specific things. Um, so yeah, now um. reviewing feedback from survey, also insights from the community and gameplay data. Yeah. Now, uh, this is something I'm gonna make another video on sometime this week, going over which SSR character you should pull. Um, yeah, so I'll save the discussion for that video. Key improvements in the April 8th update. Uh, that's amazing. We have identified that many Star Guardians are experiencing difficulty progressing through certain missions in Path of Exploration, particularly in sections that require repeated attempts, such as fishing or capturing. In these cases, the challenge does not stem from the difficulty of the mission themselves, but rather from the number of repetitions required. In particular, for capturing, we found that the need to craft potions as part of the process has contributed to increased overall fatigue. As Path of Exploration is designed to allow Star Guardians to naturally experience various content across Britannia through mission progression, we are preparing adjustments to reduce the overall number of required repetitions so that gameplay flow is not interrupted by fatigue in certain sections. Following the April 8th update, the number of repetitions required for mission-related crafting, cooking, capturing, and fishing within Path of Exploration will be adjusted. We hope that Star Guardians who have not yet completed Path of Exploration will be able to take on the challenge again under these improved conditions. Now, this is a good change. Um, right now, crafting potions and whatnot, um, as you can see, if you don't have a level 5 bench, this is the high-end capture material, and crafting that is just way too annoying to do, because you need to, first of all, craft a lot of these potions. Then you need to craft these potions, right? And then you need to craft these potions. Now, the issue is that, first of all, this material, fine glass, and the concentrated sap are very scarce throughout the world right now. So getting your hands on these is not that easy. Um, this one is a bit easier because it's easier to get the this material. There's a couple of shops that sell it throughout the world. And then this one, there's a lot of tier 3 um, plants you can grab. So you basically just salvage the plants and get the sap. Um, and then for this one, it's a lot harder because you need, first of all, specifically um, this flower, which is not that common across the world. I think you have only 12 per day or something like that. Um, and it's specifically in like the end game areas as well. So if you haven't finished the story, or you're like taking your time exploring and whatnot, then getting this is gonna be it's not gonna be that easy, especially considering getting to a level 5 bench is not easy as it is, and it takes a lot of time. And then you, on top of that, you also need to find other tier 4 flowers to salvage into the rare concentrated sap. And like, just so you get an idea of how much that is, let's say I salvage this, you get a 1-to-1. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. And these flowers are already rare as it is. So I hope they either fix the ratios, make the plants a lot more accessible. The tier 3 ones, sorry, the purple tier ones, tier 4. Um, and these ones, as you can see, like the lower tier ones, the ratio is doubled. Um, and for this one, it's even tripled. So I don't know why they decided to make this one 1-to-1, considering how hard capturing pets is. So I hope they also fix the ratios or how that system works specifically. In terms of fishing, I haven't really found any issue crafting the fishing material. Um, where's the premium bait? Yeah, I haven't found that big of an issue. You get this from salvaging fish. So like if you're a person that does a lot of fishing or throughout the book of exploration thing, you will be required to do some fishing, capturing a lot of or not a lot, but capturing specific fish. Um, and in the process, you might find other fish that you don't want. So you can just salvage the low tier ones into oil and yeah. Also, if you don't know, some fish like the low tier bait, um, which is low quality bait. Um, some fish you can farm without using any of the craftable bait at all, which is already a much bigger improvement over the pet system. And then what else did I talk about? Cooking's not that big of an issue. Just explore around the world, get the materials. It's nothing too crazy, and you also have merchants around the world. For example, don't know, there is one right over here. Um, right over here, you can buy a lot of material. Um, from here. And then meat you can get from the bunnies here, or just going around the world killing animals. So yeah, like the bisons in the desert, um, and in Venia and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to get meat and cooking materials. So yeah, it's not me specifically, I haven't found any issues with cooking, and honestly, you're not really gonna be using cooking. It's more for achievements and quests. Um, so yeah, I haven't found issues with that. Now, where is it? Crafting, they do talk about it later, so I'm not gonna go into too much details about crafting, but there's some changes that need to be made. So moving on. Additional star fragments rewards upon obtaining new skins. So when you obtain an engravement, or I'm not sure if it counts, but quick attempt that. I'm not sure if it counts, but the exclusive skins as well. I would assume they count. But when you acquire a new skin, you get 500 star fragments for each skin obtained. We will also get them retroactively, so um, if you're someone that already made a couple of skins and whatnot, then a couple of engravements and whatnot, then we will be getting reward. So for example, for me, um, Codex, I'm not sure if these skins count, the SR ones, but for me, I've got 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 5, 35. That's a whole multi. Um, if the R1s, R and SR engravements count, then yeah. So that's very good considering how hard engravements are to get, which I'll also talk about in another segment they have. So yeah, very very good change. Really like that one. Addition of option to display other players' combat effects. As mentioned in previous developer notes, we'll be adding a feature that allows players to disable other players' combat effects during party play. This is very good. The game is very has a lot of visual pollution right now, especially if you're in a party and whatnot. So it makes it a lot easier in parties to understand what's going on. Specifically, I found it hard in Gila's fight because her model is so small and the visual effects are much bigger. It's really hard to keep track of her, especially with how much she moves around. So that's gonna be a good addition in my book. Um, Now this very good. Addition of a BIS difficulty to boss challenge and dungeons, and adjustments to certain hell boss patterns. Um, and this, as mentioned in previous developer notes, the new endgame content is currently under development and being prepared for a future update. However, as many Star Guardians have already begun successfully clearing hell difficulty content, we believe it is important to provide new progression goals more quickly. In response, we will be introducing Abyss difficulty to existing boss challenge and dungeon content, offering a higher level of challenge and new motivation for hero progression. The Abyss difficulty is designed around combat that utilizes boss weaknesses, with a focus on building and leveraging diverse hero combinations through elemental burst effects. Initially, Abyss difficulty will be added to the Capital of the Dead and the Corrupted Warden Orgot. As with existing encounters, these encounters will feature Earth as a primary weakness, along with additional weaknesses that include both Earth and Darkness. As rewards for sorry, as rewards appropriate for the higher level of difficulty, players will be able to obtain SSR fragments which can be used to progress SSR weapon limit breaks upon clearing Abyss difficulty. Abyss difficulty will continue to be expanded over time, and we plan to further develop it into content that encourages strategic gameplay through various elemental combinations. In addition, adjustments will be made to certain boss patterns in the hell difficulty of the Capital of the Dead and Deep Spider Nest dungeon. Currently, players attempting hell difficulty for the first time may find it difficult to react to the rapid pattern transitions of Gila and Shakira. To address this, we will be adding more opportunities to attack between their pattern transitions, allowing for a more consistent and manageable combat experience. Okay, let's dissect this one by one. First of all, this right now for many of the this is gonna touch more on the pay to win side of the game. But for many of the pay to win players and players who grind a lot in the game, um, hell difficulty is not that much of a challenge. Like, the only challenge is bosses' invincibility phases, and as well they said in over here, and I'll touch on that in a moment. Um, the fact that some bosses just move around too much and it's really hard to catch on to them. So it's not, there really isn't that much of a challenge. So people are just like kind of getting bored of doing them. Besides, like you do it like 2 times a day with how little keys you have, and you're basically done. You use the other 10 keys you have for like other bosses or something like that. But it's just repetitive. You do it in like 5 seconds, and it it just we need more, right? So them adding abyss difficulty is very good, and making it more elemental specific. Um, and I will touch on that on the pickup uh, pickup ticket. So I don't want to go into too much detail over what this means. But this is the biggest change to the game. Right now, if you want to enhance or limit break weapons, you need to use these materials. Now, right now, the only way to gain these materials is if we go here. Oh, it's not gonna me say I this one second. Um, oh, it's not gonna. Yeah. Okay. So this is the only way to get these materials. The only consistent way to get these materials. Salvaging the weapon. Now, or salvaging SSR weapons specifically. Now, that is just not worth the effort. And like, sure, you also get it from like the special codex, but look at where you need to be to get it, right? Um, and obviously from like different events, I don't think this one gave any. Um, this one, uh, this one, I remember it gave any. Yeah, so there's really not any consistent way to get these materials other than salvaging weapons, SSR weapons, and SSR weapons are already hard as it is to get, that it's really not worth doing that. So I'm glad they're finally introducing a way to get them. Now, the one thing that I am a bit worried about is, will this increase key cost? I hope not. I hope that this difficulty doesn't cost more keys, especially considering how scarce keys are. Um, so I hope that they keep it at least at 20, but they might increase it to like 30 keys. So we'll have to see about that. And then the other thing, this is phenomenal. Gila and Shakira move way too much. They move way too much. They give you very little time to attack them consistently without being attacked yourself. So this is a change that we needed very desperately, especially Shakira as well with on phase 2. If you don't know, she just dashes around and you have to dodge it to not get hit. And then once she's done dashing, she's enters like a, I don't want to say stunned, but like um you get an opportunity to attack her for like 1 second, and then she jumps back and starts dashing again, or she stuns you, then dashes or then jumps back, and then she stuns you. Or if you're unlucky, you can get another invulnerability phase. So yeah, the patterns are just way too aggressive with little room to punish. So we'll have to see how this changes. Um, and then this one, improvements to HP recovery when entering dungeon content. Basically, if you don't have a full bar of HP when entering a boss or a dungeon, you will be replenished fully. And yeah, this is just good convenience. You don't have to stand next to a fountain, or not fountain, next to a statue to get healed and then wait like a couple of seconds to go back. So yeah, that's a very good change. I really like that. Gathering material. This this is a lot to talk about as well. These two notes. Improvements to gathering material availability. We are planning to increase the daily acquisition limits and spawn rates of certain gathering materials available in the field. To support smoother crafting and consumable usage in the early stages of gameplay, we will be increasing the amount of materials available in locations where resources such as gold ore, flower petals, and tree sap can be gathered. We will continue to monitor the availability of gathering materials and make further adjustments as needed. Increased availability of early game growth materials and reward adjustments. As briefly mentioned in the previous developer notes, we have identified that many Star Guardians are experiencing difficulty obtaining gold and lower tier growth materials. With this update, we aim to expand how players can acquire the resources needed for early hero progression. First, we will be adding rewards to existing content to increase the availability of enhancement stones and refinement stones. Enhancement stones and refinement stones will be added to the rewards for dungeons and boss challenge content, and we're also preparing updates that will allow players to obtain additional quantities of both enhancement stones and refinement stones from mastery dungeons. Sorry, just took a sip. Um, In addition, for the gold dungeon, the number of cube keys required for the entry will be reduced from 10 to 5, improving its overall efficiency compared to before. We have also received feedback from many Star Guardians that uncommon fragments are consumed in large quantities during hero mastery progression, leading to shortages. In particular, we have identified cases where certain fragment types become significantly lacking depending on the hero being developed, even beyond the overall shortage. To address this, at Ward Level 4, the drop rate of uncommon fragments from elite monsters will be increased to 100%, while the drop rate for premium fragments will remain the same. In addition, we will be introducing a feature that allows higher tier fragments to be dismantled into lower tier fragments, enabling players to supplement specific fragment types as needed, along with increasing the availability of early game growth materials such as enhancement stone, refinement stones, and fragments. We are also making adjustment to chance-based fragment acquisition sources. Through these changes, clearer guidance will be provided on where fragments can be obtained with certainty, and some rewards from normal monsters will also be adjusted accordingly. Um, okay, let's talk about it. I'll talk about these in the after we're done discussing this. So this one, in the early game, where you don't know what you're doing and you're just like following the book of exploration and the book of I forgot the name, but the second one, you don't know where to go. So gold and platinum and maybe even silver is probably gonna be scarce for you because you really need to go out of your way to grab these materials. Um, And now gold specifically, I haven't seen or encountered an issue with it because there's a lot of locations if you're in the end game where you can get gold from, but in the early game, considering how hard crafting is and how expensive crafting is, not gold wise, because you don't need to pay gold to craft, but material wise, I really like this change for new players. Um, Especially tree sap. When I started playing, I found tree sap to be very, very scarce. Like I legit had to go way out of my way to find tree sap. Um, and especially concentrated tree sap, which you need to get from that, but you also need tree sap for other resources. So yeah, I really like this change. I would have wished that they would also address the late game or end game materials, because platinum right now, platinum is required for anything end game related, from engravements to weapons to anything basically. So like enchantments, you need platinum. Um, Weapons, obviously, you need platinum for SSR equipments, especially the featured weapon for the featured SSR unit. You need 30 of those platinum ingots, and then you also need this material, which you need 25 platinum ingots for. And so you basically get into this loop of like, well, I what do I do? Because you can only get 10 per day, right? 10 platinum ingots per day. Now, let's assume you use like 3 enchantments per day, right? 3 enchantments per day, that leaves you with 7 platinum per day, right? Then you, let's say you want to craft a general SSR weapon for your character. You're down 16 platinum ingots, so we're minus 8. Now we want the character specific ingot or weapon. We're down 38. Then we need to work on our engravements. Where is it? This one. We're down another 80. Fucking 80? What? 60, 63 ingots. And the platinum economy is just not there, doesn't exist. We need more ways to get platinum. Now, obviously, the golem in the spider's nest can potentially drop platinum, but it is not consistent and it's not a reliable source to get platinum. The only reliable source to get platinum is to craft it or to mine it from the different um, areas. But when you only have 5 locations for platinum, in comparison, I'm just gonna go around the map, look at how many gold locations there are, and I have went out of my way to map every gold location. So I'm just gonna scour through the map, and I want you to pay attention to how many gold locations there are. A lot more, considering you don't use gold as much in the end game. The only thing you might use gold for is and not even, you don't necessarily have to, is these weapons which you need for the SSR weapons, right? Um, so yeah, I would have liked them to make platinum a lot more accessible, considering how much it costs to get it. Now, obviously, you do have the growth bundles, but again, You get 5, you get 50 platinum out of this. Now, obviously, when you get these bundles, do not take anything other than platinum. Platinum is very scarce in the end game. Let me grab platinum. But yeah, it's just not really worth it. I don't know. That's what I think. So yeah. Now, um, regarding that, right now, enhancement stones and refinement stones aren't that common. Like there's not a reliable source to farm these. Now, them adding guaranteed drops, um, it, 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 for dungeons and boss challenge content. This is phenomenal, right? I mean, Mastery Dungeon, no one cares. Um, it might become good once, you know, wait. Okay, sorry about that. It might become a good place to farm. Um, we need to see how many drop per run, if it's key efficient or not, because like I don't think anyone did the um mastery dungeon. At least I didn't. Um, because I don't really need it. I do need to know how many hero tokens you get per drop. Oh, it's one. So yeah, it's not worth. Just do the um region bosses. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's Alarco, Frog, Red Demon, Mara, then Grey Demon. These are the places you get hero tokens from, and you also get refinement and special enhancement stones. So these are right now the only consistent ways to get refinement and enhancement stones. Um, Plus you also get mastery EXP. So yeah, these are pretty good to grind, I would say, if you have nothing better to grind for. Gold Dungeon, I don't think anyone cares. Spider inflation, as I call it, is just very good. So you should do it if you can. Now, um, this, 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 this fragments, especially the lower tier ones, and I'm talking about. Let's go for my Elaine for example, who I'm working on right now. These low quality fragments are very, very, very uncommon to find. They are very scarce in the world right now, and the fact that we're now going to have a consistent way to farm these, and we can even salvage higher tier fragments into lower tier ones, means that mastery acquisition will be excuse me, so much better, smoother, and efficient. And that is one of the best changes they could have made, in my opinion. I remember when I was grinding mastery for my current team, which is this one. It was a pain, like getting the lower tier fragments was the hardest thing to do, even harder than getting the higher tier fragments, because you can get the higher tier fragments from bosses and spider mini bosses, right? Uncommon ones, or sorry, the common ones are you just don't have a consistent way to get them, right? And it's not worth dropping your world level because they even have a lower chance of dropping. So you're kind of stuck between how's the saying? You know the saying. Um, so yeah. Um, Now this one pretty good. I would say a pretty good change. Recently I got Guild Thunder, and it makes it a lot easier to do things, get, the chests that require lightning stuff, a lightning character. And right now, considering there's only like I want you to look at this, right? Look at how many of the element of other elements there are, right? You have Meliodas Dark, Hendrickson Dark, Bog Dark. Sorry about that, had a bit of an emergency. So, as I was saying, we've got 3 darkness characters. We've got like 4, 5 earth characters, 4 fire characters. We've got like 3 light characters and like 3 wind characters. I don't have King and Drake, so yeah. But like only 2 lightning characters, Guild Thunder and Drake. And the fact that you can get Guild Thunder, which is so important, um, is just really, really annoying. So the fact that you do get him guaranteed, even if you have finished the challenge missions already, you will be getting that Guild Thunder. Now, this is also very big. Improvement to cube key usability. We have received feedback from many Star Guardians that there are limited ways to obtain cube keys, as well as concern that their daily use feels restrictive. In response, our development team aims to expand opportunities to obtain cube keys and improve their usability so that they can be used more flexibly based on each player's player style. Um, First, we will be introducing a new exchange item, the small cube key bundle. Um, This item can be purchased using cube keys and allow players to convert their daily cube key charges into bundles that can be stored and used at a later time. In addition, items that were previously limited to once per day will be changed to a weekly limit, reducing the need for daily logins and allowing players to obtain and use them more freely at their preferred times. Finally, with this update, the number of times cube keys can be exchanged using star fragments will be increased from 5 to 10 per week, allowing players to obtain and use more cube keys through gameplay. We will continue to introduce various events to make cube keys easier to obtain, just as we increased rewards in the cube key giveaway event on April 1st. We kindly ask for your continued interest and support. So what we're talking about basically is the pack here. So this will increase from 5 times a week to 10 times a week. So instead of it costing now 1,000 star fragments, it's gonna cost 2,000. But you do get 250 keys. So yeah. Now um this I'm not sure how I like it. We need to see what the ratio is, and how you can use it. And then this one, I'm not sure exactly what they mean. maybe they might mean like um items from these shops, like maybe they refresh daily, or they get a bigger amount per week that you can buy, but they refresh per week, um, instead of per day. I'm not sure entirely what they mean with that, but we'll have to see it. Um, and yeah. Um, other than that, um, we need to get more keys. Free-to-play players, they don't really have a consistent way to really grind right now. Because the key cap is 50 per day. And picking off, we got another 50 bundle. But yeah, the amount of keys is 50 per day, and unless you have a lot of key bundles stored up, um, it's gonna be really hard during the end game where like the real game begins to consistently um, make progress. So we need to have more ways to get keys and progress, which is why I think that the this event was very good. It was very, very good. We got keys, we got a summon, we got star fragments. I just really like it. I would have hoped that for the 1000, in addition to the 25 keys, we could have gotten either the um either this material or um this material, the engraving seal. But we didn't. It's fine. It's okay. It's nothing too serious. But we also need more ways to get these materials, especially considering like again, there's no real consistent way to get the steel unless you do you know the dailies and you buy the daily. Speaking of which, let me grab that real quick. Um, yeah. So that's the only way to get it, using the seals you get from daily quests. But we need more ways to get them through events and stuff. So I hope they do consider that. And then ongoing improvements. Development team is continuing to prepare additional improvements beyond those shared in developer notes. As outlined in our notices and developer notes, we are prioritizing the following items for the upcoming updates. Initial players are unable to properly join parties due to network instability. We all know this bug. You need 2 invites to actually join a team, sometimes more, um, or to join your friends, not team. The first invite, you get a disconnection, then you need to connect again, then get the invite, and then you are good to go. Um, and an issue where players are unable to properly, yeah, we got that. Addition of a preview feature for engraved equipment stats. That's good. I would have liked to get the engravement passive as well. I don't know if that includes it, but if it doesn't, we do need to see that because every character has at least 2 engravements, and we need to know which engravement is the better one for our situation. Everybody has a different situation. Everybody could use a different engravement, so we do need to see that. Improvements to gathering features and related systems, fixed fixes for crashes and freezing issues during gameplay. Um, for me recently, the game kind of crashed a bit more often than I would like. So I really hope they do fix that. And I would encourage you, if the game does crash for you, at least on PC, I'm not sure about other consoles, you have an option to send the crash port to them and then restart the game, or exit the game if you are done playing. Please send it to them. The game, as we know, is very buggy. There's a lot of things that um, need fixing, and I'm sure that the team is working very hard to fix the game, but we do need to help them as much as we can with those crash reports. So please make sure you send the crash reports to them, so the game becomes a better experience for everybody involved. So yeah, that's it for me. As I said, I will be making another video regarding the SSR Hero Selection ticket on who you should pick and why. Looks like the devs are listening to us, which is very good to see. It's very encouraging, especially for free-to-play players, because at the end of the day, the game needs to be, in my opinion, catered towards the free-to-play players. So we get more player retention, so that the game stays alive and flourishes, because it is a fun game if we disregard the bugs. Um, and yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope this video uh, helped you get some idea of the things, the issues with the game, and maybe if it reaches to the devs. I hope they listen to what I had to say. As a pay to win player that invests a lot of resources into the game, I do want to see it succeed. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.